So the big question is this TT RS Roadster worth £68,490? Hello guys, and welcome to this Volks Wizard video. Now I've had this Audi Sport Edition TT RS Roadster for about a week now. Hopefully you've seen the video where I picked it up in Scotland, and I've done about 800 miles in total since then, and we are getting on very well indeed. There has however been one thing hanging over my enjoyment of this car, and that's the fact that it costs 68,490 of your pounds, which is, whichever way you look at it, a hell of a lot of money. It buys a lot of exciting cars, both new and used. Pick for me would be Mark 1 Audi R8 V10 Plus, easily available from a main dealer for that kind of money, and you probably get a 1 or 2 year warranty, and let's face it, that is a proper supercar. But you may not want a supercar, so I thought I'd make a video having a look at what this TT RS actually gives you for that kind of money, and then you can work out for yourself whether you think it's good value or not. So without any further ado, let's have a closer look at this Audi Sport Edition TT RS Roadster. Okay guys, let's start with the basics, and the cheapest way into TT RS ownership is to buy a coupe. This Roadster attracts a premium of £1,750. You're probably going to want some options on top of that, and the best option is to go for the Audi Sport Edition. Now this isn't an option pack, it's the new model. So you've got the base model, which isn't basic by any means, don't worry about that, but you've got the Audi Sport Edition, which for an extra £4,000 gets you a bundle of options that is much cheaper than speccing them individually. Well, when I say much cheaper, it is on the RS3, but on this car they seem to come to about 4,345 quid, so not much cheaper than the 4,000 for the Audi Sport Edition. I'll just show you what's included on the TT. This is the official press documentation. So you get these 20-inch wheels, which are great, £1,695, black door mirrors, black styling pack. Well, I think black door mirrors and black styling pack are one and the same. Carbon inlays, which are very nice, particularly the centre console one, much nicer than the aluminium you get on lesser models. And you get the sports exhaust, so that's got black tips, which looks good and obviously sounds good. But to get this to just 4,345 quid, it's not been particularly easy to get prices for those bits, because if you go to the Audi's configurator, for a start, they list the Audi Sport Edition, but you can't configure one. And if you try and configure the standard model, it doesn't list half of those options. So I've had to kind of guesstimate the values using RS3 prices, but they should be there or thereabouts, and that's not a massive saving. As well as the Audi Sport Edition options, this car's got about £9,000 of extras as well, so we'll just go through those. I've got the official spec sheet right here. So extended RS styling pack in blue. Again, it's really hard to work out exactly what this consists of, but I'm pretty sure the centre console blue and maybe the seats is extra. Not particularly brilliant on a grey car. I think the standard colour is grey, which I guess looks a bit boring, but I don't know. I don't really think blue and grey looks so good. Maybe red and grey, I don't know. It's up to your personal preference, but it does liven up the cabin, and it's an extra 1,125 quid. Carbon engine cover 650. Well, this has got to be looked at, hasn't it? 650. I bought many a good car for 650 quid. There we go. Yes, that's very nice, but it's an engine cover, so you could probably not bother with that one. Matrix LED headlights, yeah, well they are pretty cool. Try those on the RS3 and the Q3. I definitely have those. They don't look particularly different when they're not illuminated, but trust me, at night in the winter, they're brilliant. Right then, next let's have a look at storage pack for 175 and power seat adjustment for 995. We'll combine the two for reasons that will become obvious in a second. On the back of the seat there's the storage net. It's probably good for a map book if anybody ever uses those anymore, or a pair of pants. It's not much good for much else, and to get to it you have to move the seat with the power seat control. So that's position fore and aft, and that's backrest. We've also got a couple of other adjustments. So we've got lumbar, which pushes the backrest in and out. You can probably see that now. Plenty of options to be uncomfortable in this car. And we've got, to my surprise, adjustable bolsters. So if you remember this on the B7 RS4, a pneumatic pump fills the bolsters with air and makes them swell. That's all the way out now, and then it releases the air sort of silently and the bolster comes back in. I've got to say, I didn't particularly like that on the B7 RS4, and I don't like it on this car, because when I got in it, somebody had put the bolster inwards and it was digging in my leg, so it took me a couple of days to work out they were adjustable, and once I'd reset it, it was fine after that point. There is one more bit I need to show you, because I think the storage pack extends into the boot, so you get a luggage net, like so, and possibly even this strap. And actually, while we're at it, in here is the smoker's pack, which you can't get on the UK cars. It's 35 quid extra for this little pot that goes in the centre console. Well, I took it straight out because I wanted to get some water in there. Right then, what's next? Mag ride, power folding, adjustable, heated and auto dimming exterior mirrors. I'm pretty sure they're adjustable electronically as standard, and probably heated as standard. Maybe not auto dimming, so 120 quid, probably worth it. Right, what's next? Top speed increased to 174 miles an hour, 1600 quid. So that's the price of a good holiday to change something that you're probably never going to feel the benefit of, even if you go to Germany. Doing 155 with your foot to the board and it not accelerating, trust me, that's quite good fun anyway. But to do 174, you've got to be a bit of a nutcase, and you've got to be an even more of a nutcase to want to pay 1600 quid for the privilege. So yeah, I think you could probably do without that one. Right, what's next? Tyre pressure monitoring. Well, no, actually 250, that's a bit of a bargain, because you have very small profile tyres and a lot of potential for damage, and because they're quite stiff sidewall, you may not notice you've got pressure going down. So definitely worth having. It should be standard. I thought this was European law by now. Audi side assist, yep, that's pretty cool. So you've got little lights in the mirrors. They actually do a little self-test when you start the ignition, so let me see if I can replicate that. Better turn the ignition off. Right, I'm going to start the ignition now. There you go, that light's come on there. That's like a self-test because it's blind spot monitoring. So I was on the motorway yesterday, there was some car, a few car lengths away, but coming really fast down the outside lane, and it warned me that he was coming, because if I'd pulled out, he wouldn't have hit me, but it would have been uncomfortable. In fact, in many ways, it's a very good, it tells you when to pull out without pissing people off, basically. So it leaves room, and yeah, I like it, and if it saves you having one accident and writing off this very expensive car, it's got to be worth the 595 quid that it cost. So smoker's pack, it says here, not available in the UK. Advanced key 455 and B&O sound system. So again, another weird little thing is that it says here, you could have those two as part of the comfort and sound pack for 1495. That's actually more than the cost of those, and the car comes as standard with parking sensors, so, and heated seats, which are the comfort and sound pack on some of the other cars. So it's a bit of an inconsistency. But anyway, advanced key, yeah, you probably know what that is by now. You have a key, it looks like a normal key. It still has the remote control buttons on it, but you just keep it in your pocket and you do that to lock it, and to open it, hopefully it's not confused, you just put your hand there and pull. And then starting is keyless, as it is on I think a lot of TTs anyway. You might not get keyless entry. you get keyless start, so you press that button. So this is a pretty cool steering wheel, standard on the RS, basically the R8 wheel. It's got these satellite buttons, so one for start and one for the driving modes, which is a really good place to have it, because on the dashboard it's not particularly accessible. Okay, let's just go through the standard specs. We've got the official documentation here. So we've got 19-inch wheels as standard, we've got 20s on this car. LED headlights, well, we've got LED matrix on this car. Audi Connect infotainment system, so basically there's a SIM card in the dash somewhere, and that downloads sort of data, so you can have it for traffic news and all that stuff, or Google Maps on the virtual cockpit. We'll come to that in a sec. Audi Drive Select with 4 modes, so you can change the modes. If you've got DCC, dynamic chassis control, or magnetic ride, on an Audi, it makes a lot more sense because you can make the ride harder or softer. And when you've got 20-inch wheels like on this car, it's quite important, I think. We've got lane assist. Well, I've not actually seen this working, but basically it tells you if you're drifting out of the lane. Audi Parking System Plus, so front and rear parking sensors. There is no camera on this car, and I would highly recommend it because the massive blind spot just over your shoulder here. You get a standard Audi sound system, but we've got B&O in this car. You can tell that by the lovely speaker grills that illuminate at night. There's also some lovely ambient lighting across this bit here. So that's a really nice touch. And we've also got the Audi Sport logo on the ground when you open the door. We've got virtual cockpit with a TT RS specific screen. So this has been standard on every Mk2 TT. You don't always have navigation because that was an optional extra on some cars. It's standard, obviously, on this one. We've got brake calipers in black with TT RS logo. Coloured interior elements in slate grey. So here would be slate grey normally, and here, but we've got the blue pack, so we've got blue. Deluxe automatic air conditioning with integrated display logo. So again, this is probably a case of form over function, but you've got the gauges, you've got the adjustment of the temperature there, and the fan speed there. You can put it into auto there, but because they're not as functional as the ones inside the RS3, they've had to put this extra little switch there, and to be honest, I don't think they work as well as a normal one, but that could just be me. Door sill trims with aluminium inlays and TT RS logos, like so. Don't take that for granted because something like Golf 7, that's all just paint. We've got electric wind deflector. That's a little bone of contention because it used to be standard on the Mark 1. I think it was standard on the Mark 2. They made it optional for Mark 3, and it's impossible to retrofit because it's integrated into the bulkhead. So yeah, it's an option, but it's standard on TT RS at least. Extended leather, so armrests in the doors, yep, that's nice. Door pull handles. Well, because we've got carbon, maybe not. Sorry, where are we? Right, door pull handles. Trim on the centre console. Oh yeah, that's quite nice. An instrument cover in leather, so that one there looks like a skateboarder's knee pad. It says exterior mirror housings are normally in matte aluminium, but we've got black pack on this car. And it says you get exterior mirrors that are adjustable, heated and folding as standard. That's interesting. So really you're only getting the dipping function as an extra. Okay. Heated front super sport seats in fine apple leather. That's what we have here. Although the blue is probably extra. Inlays in race aluminium, well, we've got carbon, so that's why we haven't got race aluminum. LED interior lighting pack, yeah, I'll show you the photo of that. Lights and rain sensors, just auto headlights and auto wipers. MMI Navigation Plus, so, well, it's just like a screen on there. Put it where you want to go to, it shows you where to go, that's it. Doesn't tell you haven't got a screen here, which you get on the RS3, which is really useful, but there we go. Privacy glass, well, yeah, we haven't got back windows, so it doesn't count here. RS body styling, I've shown you all that. Gear lever in Alcantara. That's true, that is Alcantara. And we've got stainless steel pedals, just 2 of them on this car. A horrible plastic dead pedal, which if that was left-hand drive, I'm pretty sure it would be a sexy stainless steel bit as well. Exhaust button in centre console. Yeah, so even if you don't have the sports exhaust, you can make the exhaust a bit louder by pressing that. But obviously sports exhaust is what I'd recommend. TT RS Sport Leather and Alcantara steering wheel with multifunction plus with 2 satellite buttons. So yeah, very similar to an R8, but it's missing the, I think, the traction control button of the R8, and it's really nice. It's got paddles on there. They are plastic, yeah, but they are better than some of the ones I've seen on R8s. I reckon they use plastic to stop injury in accidents, because you never know what could be wearing an accident, and if that was metal, it could be quite painful. The other thing I want to point out is the wireless charging. So this is an iPhone 8. I didn't even know it had this facility, but if you pop it into the dock just there, which I did do without even trying, it said it's charging, and then on here you get a message saying it's charging, which that is pretty cool. It's also pretty cool because when I connect it with a phone cable to the USB, if I want to play music, it says there's nothing on the phone, so I have to connect it via Bluetooth, which means the battery's depleting and it's not charging. So luckily with the wireless charging, I can have it connected via Bluetooth and it's still charging. Now, I've asked people at Audi about Apple CarPlay, because you'd expect a car of this price and newness to have it. And generally all you do is take the cable, which is a genuine cable, plug it into your phone like that. Then normally you get a message on the virtual cockpit or the central screen saying, do you want to control with Apple CarPlay, or do you want to use a normal system? Well, there's nothing happening. If I unplug it, plug it back in now. If I turn the engine off, turn the engine on. Nope, it says unplayable up there, because it doesn't even won't even play music off here. Very, very strange. This is a fully updated iPhone 8. So if I try and play music, no, not connected. Mystery. If I go into media, it says it doesn't contain anything, which is really, really annoying. I'd love to know how you get Apple CarPlay. There was a video by another YouTuber called Miss Emma Walsh, and she'd just taken delivery of one of these, and she said it had Apple CarPlay. Well, if somebody could show me how, that's great, but the car's going back tomorrow, so probably going to miss that opportunity. That has reminded me of another thing that she mentioned in the video, and that you can get an option where you can get warm air coming out of the headrest, which I think is a really nice touch, because there is a bit of a problem with this car in that the window stops there and the wind deflector starts there, and this area here lets a lot of air in, and it does get really annoying. If you've driven A4 or A5 Cabriolet, they actually have window line that is intersected by the wind deflector, so there's no gap, and they are much less affected by wind, which can make a difference if you've got an expensive haircut. Okay, now I want to talk to you about the facelift that this car has been subject to. So in summer 2018, the whole range was revised, a few little detail and styling changes, but there was no TT RS at the time. And the reason for that was because it didn't comply with the new WLTP emission standards. You might have heard that a lot recently. But basically from September 2018, the car had to comply or it couldn't be sold new. Dealers were busily pre-registering lots of cars in the summer just to get them on the roads before that date, because after that they'd be subject to massive penalties. In the meantime, manufacturers were removing models like this from the range, taking them back into the R&D departments and making them compliant by fitting things like petrol particulate filters. And a year later, here is a car in the UK fully WLTP compliant with a petrol particulate filter. Now, it's also a little bit quieter than the old model. Whether that's because of the petrol particulate filter or whether it's been adjusted separately to be compliant with new EU noise regulations is unclear, but maybe the two are a happy coincidence, because I'm pretty sure a petrol particulate filter would make it quieter. Right, let me give you a quick walk around the car and just point out what's new in the styling wise when it comes to the facelift. So the old model looked pretty aggressive anyway, but this one is next level in that respect. So I'll put a picture of the old model up now and you can compare it to this new model. But basically the front end's a bit more aggressive because they've opened this intake up. On the old car it was partitions sort of here, which meant this was smaller. Now it's a massive gaping grille. It's also got this little bit here now, which is an intake. It does come round, and that's very much like the one on the RS3. We've got the black badges as well. This is new for the facelift, so people have been modifying their cars with black badges for years. Audi now finally offer it from the factory. The sills were body coloured all the way down to the ground before. They've split them up now with this black, glossy black section that flicks out here just to make it look more aggressive. But most of the action's been happening at the back. So the spoiler, which has been a TT RS trademark since it came out, has been redesigned. So you've got these end plates which look really cool, and they're glossy black as well. Before it was just one moulding, if you like. Now it's sort of 3 different bits. We've also got these fake vents which are a bit Marmite. A lot of people are saying they look a bit dreadful. Somebody on Instagram said it looked like a Khan body kit, which was, yeah, a bit harsh, but yeah, fake vents, I don't know. I mean, the stylists can do something with them, I guess. It does give you the opportunity to make the car more aggressive, but ultimately they are fake, so does that make them uncool? I'll let you decide. I'm not sure how more aggressive or less aggressive the rear diffuser is, but it looks really cool. We've got the traditional oval RS exhaust tips. They don't really seem to have changed an awful lot down there, but it looks, I think it looks amazing. So the big question is this TT RS Roadster worth £68,490? Well, it depends on your perspective and your needs. I think you could make it a fair bit cheaper with a bit of discounting and maybe stripping back some of the options you don't need, like that silly speed limiter for 1,600 quid. The rival for me used to be the Porsche Boxster S, but now it's gone to the 4-cylinder engine. It just doesn't sound like a sports car, let alone one that's over £60,000. This 5-cylinder engine is tremendous, it really is. And we've also got Quattro as well. This is a 4-wheel drive car. Now, I know most journalists will say, what's a sports car doing with 4-wheel drive? It doesn't need it. But most buyers of these cars are not journalists. They're probably average to good drivers, and they might live rurally. They probably might benefit from having 4-wheel drive just there in case the weather turns against them and they can get home. And they probably won't be able to feel the dynamic benefits of a pure rear-wheel drive car. You're not really paying an awful lot more to have the 4-wheel drive on this car. It's not slowing you down. I don't think it's having hardly any effect on fuel consumption, judging by the official figures or my own figures. So yeah, it's a pretty unique package. As for comparing it to an old R8, well, the big factor with this car is that it's got a much bigger boot than an R8, whether it's a Spider or a Coupe. So the boot in here, well, on the Mk2, which I think is pretty similar, was big enough for us to go away for a week. I can't do that in my R8 Coupe. And the Coupe TT is even better. It's a perfectly practical car to live with. It's a bit fatuous comparing it with an R8 because they're very, very different cars. But I just can't get over the fact that really, what does the R8 offer apart from the exotic looks and, yeah, I don't know, maybe dynamically on the limit because it's sort of mainly rear-wheel drive. Even though it's 4-wheel drive, it would be more enjoyable to drive. But I just think for most people on the public roads, even a relatively skilled driver like me, I can't get the most out of that car or any more out of it than I can out of this car. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this Volkswizard video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, please comment, please share, make sure you subscribe as well, and I'll see you for the next one real soon.